one. um, my name is Marvelyn, and I am the founder of Yell4Change. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a Jamaican British. I was born in Jamaica. I was raised in the UK, and I've been here since I was a child, so very young, for a very long time. I've been in the UK, and my mom is Jamaican and my dad is from the UK, so I have bits of both cultures. I know the British culture and I know the Jamaican culture. Um, I'm the only one in my family who has albinism as we speak, which I wish somebody else would be with me, then I wouldn't feel so alone. So I'm the only one, and I didn't know about albinism until I was like 12 years old. I was in school, and in the UK, they taught me about albinism and what it is, and I said, oh, it makes sense now, because I used to look at my skin. I'm like, hang on, I've got two black parents, and it just think, hang on, I look different from everybody else. Hang on a minute, like, was that, questions was coming through my mind, like, oh, was I adopted? Is my parents white? All of those things was going through my head. But yes, so with that, I've had my fair share of, stigma and discrimination and prejudice. But I honestly can say what is my ridicule became my blessing.
Exactly. And maybe not to cut you, but how old were you when you moved to the UK from Jamaica?
I moved to the UK when I was 11.
Okay, pretty young age.
Yes.
And well, I was pretty much I was very impressed by you sharing the story of experiences on a week ago, and maybe you can why yelling for change. How did it start, and what is the motivation?
Yell4Change started last year, September, to be very honest. It's fairly new. It started when it was Albinism Awareness Month in September. And I'll tell you how it began. I found out online, oh, it's Albinism Awareness Month in September, and I didn't know they had awarenesses for a whole month. I didn't know. So what happened was I broadcasted on WhatsApp to friends and family and say, okay, just send some pictures, like yellow, like albinism awareness, and in standing solidarity with me for albinism, because, and a lot of people messaged me with their pictures, and family and friends, and then I decided to share it on social media. Little did I know that PWAs all over was gonna inbox me and send me their pictures, and the rest is history. That's how Yell4Change started. So the Yell stands for shout. So let me explain what Yell4Change is all about. Yell4Change, the Yell stands for shouting, to be heard, listen, I need your attention. So yell. So yeah, that's what it's about. And also the yellow for albinism. As you can see, I'm wearing yellow right now. Also, the number 4 is the 4 E's, I beg your pardon. 4 E's is to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage albinism. So, and in a change, we want to make a change for the future generations, future PWAs, and for the babies that are born with albinism, so that we have to make a positive change, so that they don't have to face the stigma, they don't have to face the discrimination like most of us did, and most people on this live now can share the same experience as me, like the challenges and the stigma of having albinism, because it's about trying to be who you are as a person, not because you're born with a condition.
Exactly. And maybe a follow-up question that maybe some viewers may want to see. Like, given that you grew up in the UK, Do you think,
Yes.
and the challenges you faced, like let's say back in Jamaica when you were a little kid, do you think the same challenges moved with you, or the pretty much improvement you being in the UK?
Jamaica was a bit different because Jamaica people they upset you in Jamaica, so it wasn't so bad because I had family back home. They really loved and they cared about me. And also, I made friends in Jamaica, so it wasn't so bad. I think when I came to the UK, that's when it all started. The bullying, the derogatory comments, the stares, going into a new school, people were curious about me, asking me if I was a black, asking me if I was white, all these things was going through my mind. So I was like, it was overwhelming for me. And I it just started, and it had some family members who were very nasty. Like with my share experiences, some of them didn't want to walk on the side of the road with me because of albinism.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to face. I like some of them when they see their friends, they run in the corner and start saying, "Oh, I'm a white girl, she's ghosted, blah blah blah." And I used to cry and I hated myself. I actually was ashamed of talking about albinism because of the stigma I faced personally.
Yeah, exactly. It's very touching, and you and I can witness of stories that come out of countries like Tanzania, and
Yes.
in Ottawa we work with
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this until a couple years back when people talk about the
yeah,
albinism killing. I didn't think it was true. I thought it was like it's a lie. I didn't think this kind of things happen. But based on I went online and I done my research, and I'm like, oh my god, like people's been, oh, excuse me, people have been amputated, their hands, they've lost their lives, and even in death, people albinism, they still try to use these myths still, even when they died. And I feel, wow, it's
yeah,
mind blowing.
yeah, exactly. It's and what do you think contributes to this stigma around albinism and people living with albinism?
The stigma is where people don't take the time to understand the condition. So they make assumptions and they make derogatory comments, and then the bullying comes in, then the discrimination comes in about people with albinism, and then the teasing starts. The whole 9 yards of it. And with that said, um, being teased about being black or being in a white skin, it's very hard to comprehend most times. So the stigma is that people or society, I would say, society would has caused this and created this the stigma, and where people will believe the lies and the myths and the stories, like it's not true, because albinism, it's congenital. It's something that it happens through conception, and in order for you to have albinism, it takes two recessive genes to carry um, to carry it. So both mom and daddy have the recessive genes. So even though my parents are light skinned and they're black, they are carriers of the albinism gene. Both are carriers of it, whether they believe it or not. And even in my family as well, I can actually say to them, listen, you lot are carriers of albinism. There's a 25% chance of you having a child or children with albinism. So we have to kind of like make sure that we we educate ourselves and let us not be ignorant to the facts and the reality of it, because not just black people have albinism. Albinism can occur in every race. I've seen
Yeah,
Chinese, I've seen Latino, I've seen blacks, I've seen whites. It doesn't matter what religion you are, if you are Muslim, if you're Christian, it don't matter. Albinism is everywhere. And even though in the UK, 1 in 17,000 estimates have albinism or a degree of albinism.
yeah, Yes, yes, that's very true. That's very true. And well, and you said a very good point there. It it covers across the races. It doesn't matter your race, your background, anything. And
Yeah.
well, but challenges comes varies from family to family. A kid with albinism coming from black parents can easily
Yes.
be a hotspot compared to a kid with albinism from white parents. So
Yeah.
it's reason.
For me, I think even with black with albinism, it's like it's an identity. You know that you're black,
Mhm.
but your skin is different. So
That-
what's the biggest thing in the black community? A person black with albinism is the struggle of the identity, knowing where no, they know who they are, but it's like they don't fit in their own race.
Yeah, I happen to have a bunch of friends that have happen to have albinism, and I remember the first day I went visiting them in their house. Even
Oh,
sorry.
this person asks if the government has enough support. Yes, we do. In the UK, yes, we do. They have Albert. No, wait. I don't know about the government, but there are fellowships here. Um, there are support. In the schools, they do have things for people with sight impairments or visual impairments, and they also have like special support for the blind and so forth here. But I'm not even too sure if it's supported. But I know that UK they do have laws that covers disability
Mhm.
and so forth. It's called the Equality and Diversity Act 2010. So that covers disability and race and everything. So even a person with albinism, you're covered underneath that legislation.
Let me read some comments here.
Yeah.
Um, we have Adeli saying hello, good night, hello, thank you so much.
Hello.
Mearini saying yes. Adele is also saying I'm an albino from Iran. Thank you so much, Adele, for joining. Good
Thank
night.
you, sir.
She'll be lady over there in Iran. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Um,
you.
and we have Maya Wen. She's saying, Adele, that's awesome. I'm a person with albinism from the United States. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
um, uh, I'll be happy if you see my last post on my page. Definitely, I'll go check you after this live, Adele. Thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you so much. And yeah, and you've answered this question here. And maybe the question that follow up, what do you think are advocates tips for, let's say, kids growing up 10, 15 years, 12 years, who have
Mhm.
albinism and they face constantly bullying at school or even in the communities? What are the advocate tools or tips do you think they can learn from you?
Now, first of all, let me just say the there's a difference. You've got the internal and the external. Now, if the support is internal, then obviously then the parents have to bring awareness to the external, so that their child should not be stigmatized or be a victim of bullying. I strongly believe that if the support comes from the internal structure from the family members to say, my child is got albinism, okay, I'm going to educate the schools, I'm going to educate the community and say, look, this is my blood. My child is born with no melanin. There's nothing wrong. So obviously, it's good to like have um, experts to educate the parents for one, so that they are aware. And number two things, the schools need to be more aware to have that's what I said. One of the things with the Yell4Change is educating albinism in the schools, because some people don't have the knowledge of albinism somehow, or some people are just ignorant of the fact that somebody has albinism. So with that said, with the kids growing up 9, 10, 11 facing bullying, I strongly believe that it's not acceptable to bully someone, because bullying covers in any area. So not just people with albinism, bullying is everywhere. And I strongly believe that the teachers and the communities and the people who are advocates must spread the awareness that it's not acceptable to stigmatize a young child, because it's not their fault that they're born this way.
Exactly, exactly. And you said a very good point there, that you start from home and even at school, being the fundamental place where kids start learning, right? And
Yes.
Personally, I was shocked when we started Born to White, June 2020. I was shocked to see that even our school calendars here do not recognize International Albinism Day.
Mm-hmm.
So even,
oh, wow.
even at school, some kids don't even know what albinism is. Mm-hmm. And so they're just shocked seeing kids who put devices close to their eyes when they are reading.
Yes.
And that has been our advocacy tool every time, that teachers have to spread awareness. Albinism Day doesn't need just to be one day within a year, but it's across the 365 days.
Yes.
Advocacy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because I strongly believe even with Yell and Yellow, I wanted to bring awareness. So the fact is that in the schools, I feel that I've seen when I started Yell4Change, a person sent me videos of kids in Uganda,
mm-hmm.
and you know, they need the help there. They don't have the resources like here. In the UK, we have where, for me personally, they will have, and I will have enlarged print for me to read things. So when I go in my exams and everything, my papers are big, and also they're giving me extra time to do my exams because of my sight impairment. I don't have any problems academically, but because of my impairment, I kind of struggled reading certain things. I mean, I understand. So I've had teachers help me in the school here, but I just felt like I was very privileged. But obviously, places like South Africa, Uganda, Malawi, Zambia, they're not so privileged to have the resources. So obviously, the aim for Yell4Change is to bring awareness, and obviously, this project is fairly new, and my aim is to work with the educational department so that they will have an understanding what albinism was, what support needs to be put in place for the students so that they can learn efficiently and they can have a life with the support that's needed.
Exactly. And that's the advocacy. I think every albinism organization and community groups should implement in their daily advocacy. We have someone in the comment here saying, I want to know, please, if there's, I think you mean stigmatization, become less when you grow up, or as you grow up, can you control it?
I think when you're a child, I think when you're younger, I think it's more worse when you're a child. But I think as you get older, you come to like an accepting yourself, and when you come to accepting yourself for who you are as a person with albinism, and you just kind of ignore the hate. And that's what I would do. I would ignore the hate.
I think as the more you grow, the more your skin becomes thick.
So you become more fit. You become like, it's like, okay, I'm used to you staring at me. I'm used to you making comments. Oh, like, right, cool. You can say all of that. But you know something?
Mm-hmm.
I got my life today. I'm just like you. I'm a human being. My blood is red. So what?
Yeah, definitely. Behi is saying, I love how strong and confident you are. That's
Thank you. Thank you.
And our last question being, so what's maybe let me read the last comment here before you go to the last point. Black girl, white skin is saying, I agree. As an adult, you've learned to hold those accountable for their ignorance. as well as educate them about albinism. Exactly, exactly. We've said here, albinism, it's not just a day of advocacy, but if you happen to work with to be living with albinism, or if you happen to be working with or having someone close to you with albinism, you find that advocacy, it's 365 days in a year.
Yeah, the work doesn't stop.
Definitely.
The work
Ruby,
doesn't stop just because it's a June 13th, or if it's a September time, the work doesn't stop just because it's awareness. You have to keep the work going, because if there's babies that can't fight for this, but for the people who have albinism, we can, and other supporters can, advocates can fight on those who don't have the voice, or who don't have that the ability to speak up, because some don't have the confidence, like maybe like a person like me, or or black girl, white skin, but it's not everybody who has albinism have that voice. So obviously, if we can be a society that can stand up in one voice, and advocate for those who don't have a voice, then I feel that society will be in a better position. Because we already live in a world which is cruel already, so why make it harder for somebody that's all different?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Maveline. Ruby is saying, Maveline, you're a voice of inspiration. Absolutely. And someone is thanking you. And maybe from Yell4Change perspective, what's your general message to the public? What are you asking the entire society, if it's not the world society, to know?
For Yell4Change's message would be to be kind. That's one. Number two things, if you see somebody with albinism, give them a compliment, make them feel beautiful, because living with albinism, it does affect your self-esteem. And a lot of times people with albinism, they don't have confidence. They feel low. They feel as if, why am I here? And I don't feel good enough. I don't feel fitting. The society don't like us already. I feel like I just feel out of place. So when you see someone that has albinism, compliment them, make them feel they're special, make them feel that they're loved, and don't make derogatory comments on them, and say nasty things, you know what I mean? Because we all have feelings at the end of the day. You know what I mean? How would you feel somebody makes comments about you because you're different?
Exactly.
And number three also, be compassionate. Have compassion, and don't allow your ignorance to get the better of you. When you see someone with albinism, have compassion. Like, for example, if you see that person needs sunscreen, help in that way. If you see that person needs glasses, help in that way. If you see a person need the books, or anything, just be compassionate, because it takes one thing to do. And I believe in kindness. If you're kind to one person, it will come back 10 times more.
Exactly. Oh, that's, I feel like you gave us a lot of tips today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Maveline. Not unless anyone has a question on the
questions, and then I'll answer them. Let's see. Yeah, oh. Would you be able to read the questions for me, and I will answer?
Okay, let me try to see if you have some questions here. I think that was it. Most of them are just comment thanking you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Snow White Mia, she's saying thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. No, thank you. If it wasn't for you, Yell4Change would have been born. Thank you. I'm humbled.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And as we said in the beginning, advocacy for albinism, it's an ongoing thing. Unfortunately, the people living through hell in other parts of the world. And
Yes.
if this message can be passed across the globe, that people have to be empathy with other people. People have to be nice with people living with albinism and accept it. I think we will have a better place where people with albinism will freely live everywhere in the world. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And that was the end of our live today. Thank you so much, everyone that joined. And good night for everyone in Iran. And I think in the UK, it's still at 2 or 1 p.m., right?
No, it's like, now it's coming up to 9 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're ahead of us. Oh, yeah. Together. That's a message from.
Let me just stress. Yes, Ruby just mentioned our motto: "Together we stand, together we can." That is Yell4Change's motto. And also, guys, if you are, I just want to tell you, everybody, tomorrow is International Albinism Awareness Day. Yes. So if you are wearing yellow, please tag Yell4Change. Follow us on Instagram, on all social media sites. Please tag Yell4Change if you are wearing yellow tomorrow. I will be wearing yellow tomorrow. Definitely. Tomorrow I'll be wearing yellow.
Tomorrow, Born to White, we are doing a virtual meeting. And
yes.
I think the theme should be yellow. And we will share as many pictures we have, people on yellow, supporting albinism community, standing for equality in the world. And of course, together we can make a change. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a nice day there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Night there. Bye.